Okay, we're live. Okay. All right. So now where'd Chris go?
I don't know.
There she was here just a second ago. There she is. Now, Denise will not be here because apparently she went to a Comic Con and is still in Tennessee. And I've never been to a Comic Con.
They're fun.
I I would very much like to go to a con. We have something here in Port Angeles. It's called Sasquatch Con,
Okay.
which I've not been to yet, too. But every time the advertisement comes out for me, they're like, "Oh, we ought to go." But it usually falls on somewhere I'm someplace else, some trade show that dares have the same dates.
Sure.
Sort of like Intergroom. Okay, so of the three that are here, only one of us was at Intergroom.
Yeah.
I haven't been in 5 years.
This is the first time I've missed it in a very long time.
All right, so we're going to be relying here on Chris a little bit.
Chris is not actually here. This is Zombie Chris here to answer all your zombie questions because I'm fairly certain Mindy and I died at some point over the weekend and were just resurrected by the power of the swivels. But there's a lot of gray areas.
Okay, so you were pretty busy.
Well, for those of you who were not there and did not know, it's all a blur. Sometime a little after 10 a.m. on Friday morning, Mo passed out and was having minor seizures and was taken away in an ambulance. And Mindy and I were running a 4-person booth with 2 people. And our ambassadors stepped in. We did have, I mean, we have an amazing team. I literally ran down to tell Amanda and saw Christina Muse, one of our ambassadors. I just grabbed her wrist and dragged her back to the booth. And I had to teach a class at 11. And he left on a stretcher a little after 10:30. And we literally shoved people behind the booth and said, "Don't let anybody steal anything," and ran to the bathroom to collect ourselves and cry and wash our faces and then proceed to soldier on with the show.
Okay, so then
I literally don't know almost nothing else that happened. Because, yeah.
All right, so I guess the question is Mo okay?
Mo is okay. He did not have a stroke.
Thank God.
We have a tentative diagnosis. There's some kind of minor neurological issue that didn't explain the fever. Abby thinks he might have had the flu and the fever ran really hot and exacerbated things. He's doing a lot better. They just got home today and they're making an appointment both with their doctor and with a neurologist at home and getting a full workup and getting answers. But he is doing a lot better than Friday. So,
All right.
but it was scary.
So I also, since I wasn't at Intergroom, I had purchased something from Andy. Yes, Chris.
We will talk about that more off air.
Okay.
Um, we will talk about that off air.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that at this moment.
Okay. So we'll discuss it off air.
That's a non-grooming related, non-live stream related issue. We will
Okay.
discuss at an appropriate time.
Okay.
There's my customer service face.
Okay.
I found it again.
All right. So tell us then about, besides that, what did you think of the show? Did it seem busy?
It was busy.
Okay.
There was an earthquake.
No,
Again,
that was last year.
no. There was
Where?
actually an earthquake that affected the whole of New Jersey. It was like a 1 point something on the Richter scale on, I can't
When
remember,
was this?
Friday or Saturday. Yeah. And it was like really tiny. But it seems like every year that's the new thing in Intergroom is the Intergroom earthquake. And I will never forget last year. So the earthquake hit at Intergroom, and I think that was Friday of last year. Was it Friday or Saturday? I think it was Friday.
It was Friday. It was Friday. It was right after. It was right after
So-
we opened.
Yeah. So I shared it open. And so Joey decides he took a picture of it. And he puts up Intergroup strong, we will rebuild. And it's a picture of the chair falling over.
Oh, that's from last year. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
no, I
from,
know.
that's
That was
yeah.
from last year. Yeah. I laughed so hard. I was in tears. That happened last year. But this year, there was a small, nobody felt it. It was such a small earthquake. But there was another earthquake, again, on Intergroom. So, yeah, it's a thing.
Okay. So we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
See, I told you.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
I know you're not the kind of person who pulls that kind of stuff out of nowhere.
Honest to God, there was an
But
earthquake.
my instinct is to go no and
Google it and go, oh my God, there was an earthquake. Yes, there was in fact an earthquake.
Yes, last year it was a 4.8. It was not shabby. This year, when did it happen? Just
4.8,
before
we'll move stuff around.
just before noon on Friday. So this happened I wouldn't at noon on Friday, I was just wrapping up my doodle class right after this had happened, and there's a shot I wouldn't have noticed if a truck had driven through the loading bay area, like at the other end of the other end. I would have been like, "Oh, okay, that happened. Sure, why not? I believe you."
Reasonable and fair.
Okay. Tacoma. The next show is Tacoma, correctly? Or is there another show?
Yes. As far as I am aware, the next show is Tacoma. I will be there, and I will see you there.
This area gets a lot of earthquakes. Most of them are 2s, 3s, and some 4s. Okay. But that happened one year at the Northwest show. I forget what year it was, but there was an earthquake and it knocked out the elevators. Only they didn't tell us why the elevators weren't working. So we're waiting to go down because I'm teaching a class, and it's a pretty tall building, so I'm up like on the 21st floor or something like that.
Oh no!
So waiting for the elevator, and you know me, I don't get to my class last minute.
Yeah.
I usually start the trek over there like an hour ahead of time so I can set up, maybe get a cup of coffee or whatever. So I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. The elevator's not coming. We're calling up. Where's the elevator? It'll be up shortly. And it's still not coming. So now we're 20 minutes in. Okay. And there's no elevator. Now I got to get to class. I literally, and the stairwells at the Tacoma show, they're really narrow. So you start hoofing it down 21 flights of stairs. You're pretty, by the time you get to the bottom.
I'm
All right.
desperate.
Yeah, to find out later that it was an earthquake. I'm not sure what it was, but if it was enough to knock out the elevators, it had to be at least for something or other.
Okay.
And then last year, they do they have to do structural damage checks on the hotels in earthquake zones. So we're in the hotel room, and there's drones. Open up the curtains, and there's a drone appearing to look like right into my room. I'm like, oh hell no, you know. Um,
That's a joke. That would never have happened. I'm just saying that I hope you had like a top on.
well, yeah, if I'm opening up my curtains,
Yeah.
I'm fully dressed.
Well, no, but if you're on a high enough if you're on a high enough floor of the
Yeah.
Hotel Murano,
No, no, no.
there's no
I'm opening
place.
up my hotel windows. I'm fully dressed. I don't care if I'm on the 60th floor. I'm fully dressed. Okay. Hey, Patty.
Hey, hey, troublemaker.
Yeah, we got the troublemaker from last week here. Uh,
Yeah.
We
uh,
still love you.
yes, we do. But anyway, so I'm like all righteous. Okay. So I close my curtain windows and I'm downstairs. There's a drone outside the window. Oh yeah, no, they're just checking the integrity. We put up a sign. I don't like the hell sign, right? Um, so down in the lobby, there's like this little sign like this saying there's going to be drone activity. And I'm like, okay, when did this go up? You know? And it's this tiny little sign. So you guys need to do a little bit better than that. But regardless, all right. So, Patty, were you at Intergroom? I don't think so. I don't think she was there. But anyway, so the next conference coming up is Tacoma. Chris, I'll be there. I'll be there. Denise, who's not here because she's at Comic Con, will be there. And I don't remember if Michelle said she was going to Tacoma or not. I don't recall.
Comic Cons are fun.
I know. Um, no, Patty was not. Um, I like I like the name that you made for yourself. Is that your channel, Patty, on YouTube? Epic Cat Grooms by Patty Kate Lee. Is that your YouTube channel?
It looks like it. Yeah.
Okay, because we don't usually get people coming over here from YouTube. All right, but anywho, all right. So we're back. Like I said, well, Chris is back from Intergroom. We're just um, observers from a distance. Okay. So now coming back, it was very, very stressful. So how do you recoup after coming back from a trade show?
I have to say I wanted to talk about a couple things regarding that because normally when I come back from a trade show and my social meter is depleted, and normally I am a fairly extroverted person. Normally, all it takes is a couple hours, like if that, because I've talked before. Mindy and I make fantastic roommates because we will uh, finish at a show, we'll have dinner, so there's more social activity, different social, but more, and we'll go back to the room and we won't talk, like we won't say a word to each other for like a half hour. Like we're getting ready for bed, and the most we'll say is, "Do you need to get in the bathroom before I get in there?" That's it. And then we're laying in bed on our phones, and spontaneously we'll start talking about the day and going over things and rewinding. Um,
And trading loogie from bed to bed.
well, that's all Luke's decision.
Yes.
That's all Luke's call. But yeah, Luke will go from bed to bed because he will settle in the middle of my bed, and I will do everything I can to wheedle myself under the cover and diagonally and leave him in there. And then Mindy likes the room colder than I do, which is fine because I just get an extra blanket
Yeah.
from the hotel. Hi, Kaylin. Um, but then he hogs the blankets too. So it's a whole thing. I got it worked out though over the weekend. I simply turned my back to him. So my back was warm and didn't have a chill, and he eventually moved and I got all the covers. But yeah. Today at this time it took a lot longer. It took because also when I fly home, I have the airport time.
Yeah.
And even though I'm surrounded by people that is headphones in, just no talkie. I need to hear about Gavin's booty call, but this time I had to make extra certain to take that downtime. And I felt bad for Cam because I like talked at him in fits. I had a burst and talked at him, but it's going to be different for everyone depending on how you are, how you deal with social situations, how you deal with people. Video games for a couple hours, like until I couldn't keep my eyes open, helped.
Mandy, that sometimes is a common thing we hear.
We
What did
hear
I
that
join?
almost every live stream because someone will have the good timing and we'll be talking about detachable penises, and which is a legit thing in the animal kingdom that we have discussed, and we're talking about, and someone goes, I thought this was about grooming. What the hell is happening at this juncture? Every week, timing is everything. So when you talk about recovering from a trade show, it's a little different for everyone. And it definitely, you definitely have to figure it out for yourself, kind of thing.
All right, since Angie and I were not at Intergroom, we both spent times in our respective gardens. So my greenhouse, it was glorious today, Chris. We hit 60 degrees here, which is warm right now for this time of year. But the greenhouse was oh, I don't know, it was still bringing a
Oh,
smile to my face.
oh, Kayla, be very careful with phrasing. We're trying to move away from that sort of thing in the pet grooming industry. So when you talk about grooming someone for a date, that's the grooming we don't want to talk about and we don't want to associate ourselves with. So
Oh, he had a haircut. He had a haircut
phrasing,
and a
phrase.
bath.
Oh, he got
Haircut
a
and
bath
bath.
and a haircut.
Bath and a haircut. 2 bits. So
Yeah,
yes.
somebody yelled at us on YouTube. I know what you're talking about, but put the word pet in front of grooming. Like, okay.
But I shouldn't have to.
I
Damn it.
shouldn't have to, and obviously you're not necessarily a pet groomer. This is very niche. This is a very niche live stream. Okay. But anyway, don't worry. Oh, gardens. Okay.
Garden.
Gardens. So I've started planting some stuff outside in containers, and the slugs are out, Chris. The slugs are out. And so I have to go buy I have to go buy beer. And not a huge we don't really drink. The only beer I have in my house is my dark beer for beer bread. Okay.
Ooh,
So now I have to
that's
go buy
important.
beer, Chris, for my slugs.
What's
Listen,
that one? That cheapy? What? Pabst?
I
Pabst
don't know.
Blue
there
Ribbon?
are
Is that
people
still a
who
beer?
will there are people who will defend Pabst with their dying breath.
And
Okay, maybe
the
that's not it
decision,
then.
I mean,
the,
that could be it. It's not like a pricey beer, but
Okay,
yeah.
the decision will be made based solely on price.
yeah. The cheapest cheapy, like they have like Walmart beer. Is that
I
what it is?
Sure, why
know.
not? Probably.
PBR.
PBR, Pabst
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so all right, so Pabst Blue. I don't know, but yeah, get like Walmart beer. Slugs don't care. It's just yeah, just get
I
Walmart beer.
yeah.
But I
As
have really good dark beer for beer bread. Do not go cheap there.
Don't go cheap there because you only need it like a cup of it for the recipe. So you're going to be drinking the rest of the beer because otherwise it's alcohol abuse.
Well, yeah.
Well, you can get the teeny Guinnesses that are only like
Mm.
this big,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
it's like exactly what you need for a beer bread. It's like they're teeny, they're little, and they're chubby, and the bottle is so cute. It makes like a really cute little vase after you soak the label off.
And what I like about beer bread is depending on the recipe, tangent alert, the, it will it's basically uh, a two ingredient bread.
Oh, yeah. It's
Maybe throw in some salt or some herbs or some
it's
cheddar. If you want to be fancy, flour, beer, and cheddar.
Mm.
I bought beer for my slugs.
She bought beer to kill her slugs with kindness.
I bought beer for my slugs. So we've had somebody walk in on. So Gavin had a booty call, and then Gavin, by the way, is Kayla Kertos. Very, very handsome standard poodle, silver boy, and champion it all. And then River walked into. I bought beer for my slugs.
So anyway, that's going to go out. And now I want to make beer bread. Now I got a question for maybe the beer connoisseurs here. Does beer age like wine? Because the two bottles that I have left,
No beer can actually.
Beer
So I
skunks. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really drink, as you guys know,
Yeah.
because alcohol allergy. But I had beer in my fridge that I had bought to make beer bread, and it was in there for like 4 years. And I'm like, it's alcohol. That's still good, right? Because it's alcohol. Because alcohol doesn't go bad, right?
and now I got to check because it might been 4 years since I've made
No,
beer bread.
beer will
Oh,
skunk, especially if you have it like if there's any temperature fluctuation.
No, no, it's in my pantry.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
gonna have to open up a bottle now, see if it's
You're
skunked. If
gonna
it's not, I'm gonna make beer bread. If it is, then I guess the slugs are getting dark beer.
yeah.
There you
There you
go.
go.
There you go. Before you buy cheap beer,
Totally.
check
Yeah.
your beer. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I opened up that bottle. It was the most vile thing I've
It
ever
does it
in my life.
and I haven't smelt it in a while, but would it be fair to say it kind of smells like that yeasty ear infection that you can smell from across the grooming salon?
Like cocker ears. Like 100%. It was
It
cocker
yeah.
ears. It was
It
it was
so you'll know
vile.
when you open it up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You'll know. It was literally it was cocker ears. It was the most
But
vile
but
thing.
but that's the thing about it being in your pantry. If you went summer with the AC or summer with the AC, then with the heat, then there was fluctuation of temperatures. So there's a solid shot. Your slugs are getting expensive beer.
Crap. Okay.
At least now you know to check before you have everything set out and ready to make the beer bread.
Yeah. All right. I guess the slugs are just gonna get some high end stuff.
Oh, weekly weird fact. So it's elephant this week, folks.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, that's right. We're coming up on
it's
time.
already a half hour.
Yeah.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
Okay, so elephants can detect infrasound waves, which allow them to know when a storm is coming. So infrasound is really cool. Humans cannot detect infrasound. Okay, so this is like they can hear it from miles away, and they can hear clouds forming. Is that not the coolest thing ever? That I just think that's so cool. Go ahead, Chris.
So what you're saying is Intergroom needs to get a baby elephant mascot to warn us about earthquakes. And then they could charge,
Joey would totally like kill me.
and then
no.
they could wait. No. And then Joey charges to like feed the elephants and take pictures with it and take
Okay.
pictures of us brushing with it like we're grooming it. So it would pay for itself
Okay.
and warn us about earthquakes.
Okay. All right. One thing that you're forgetting, Chris, is who's gonna clean up after the elephant.
Elephants poo. Big poos.
If you promise me a baby elephant, I will get a shovel.
You're gonna need more than you're gonna need
A shovel and a wheelbarrow.
That's a
Diapers
lot of
for
poo.
elephants the way they do for dogs.
Yeah.
So no belly bands for elephants, Chris.
Yeah, many much poos. Giant poos.
I don't think you are correctly looking at my field in which I grow
your flocks.
my flocks. Behold, it is barren.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, getting back to the elephants.
Baby elephant. Go on.
All right, so elephants. God save me. All right, elephants can swim for 6 hours at a time, and they can cover 30 miles. So they can swim so fast that they actually cover serious distance. And here's the thing.
Kayla, no, Angie is not going to bring her brand new wheelbarrow for that.
So,
It's great fertilizer, Angie.
Lord help me. Okay. So they use their trunks as snorkels. So in the deep areas they can walk, and the trunk goes up and they can still breathe.
I don't think you
While they're
understand.
swimming. Oh God, how much giggles I'm dying. Okay. An elephant's trunk is the most sensitive organ of any mammal. Chris, don't do it.
Angie's Weekly Weird Fact.
Oh Lord, help me.
Um,
With enough nerve endings in their trunk that they can pick up a grain of rice. Not that
Angie,
organ, Chris.
could you please repeat that? I believe you said an elephant's trunk is what now again? Nerve ending is the most sensitive organ of what? Any mammal? What now? Please repeat that. I couldn't make that out.
No, you're going to kill her, Chris. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, she'll be right next to me. I made it. So that gives whole new meaning to the phrase.
No, wait, it gets
Unlike.
worse. So I threw that in there in case you were here.
Oh, so you were trying to kill me. You see, Mary, we're fine.
Okay, no, I see that.
Because, yes, it actually has more nerve endings. And it's
Really? Ew, now I don't want to pet a baby elephant.
than a man's parts.
I'd feel like a pedo. I don't want to pet a baby elephant because it's going to be touching me with its trunk and I'm going to be like, ew, buy me a drink. What?
I am sure that's going to be the reason Joey shoots down the baby elephant.
God, I've died again. This is like the 4th time in a week.
Oh, God.
Holy.
No.
Holy
Yes,
fuckball.
there
Okay.
are more muscles and more nerves in an elephant's trunk than any other organ on any other mammal.
I
Okay.
just want
Fill
to.
in the blanks.
I just want to say for the record, temporarily, I surrender. That was worse than any perverted animal fact I've ever done.
It's just so. I mean, it's not perverted.
It's just
it just
well,
is.
none of well, my so-called perverted animal facts weren't really perverted either. They're just
I watched the live stream, Grace.
nature.
I actually watched them. If I don't get to be on
Yes,
them,
you have
Exactly
you have no idea. Okay, no idea. All right, so now Chris froze. This is awesome. Please,
yeah, Mary just wanted this live to be over. She's like, "Oh, I'm so done. Is it time? Please, God, let it be time. It's time. It's time."
okay. So on that note, we'll be back next week. Chris is saying goodbye.
Oh God.